Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Black Logic. So today, President Joe Biden, days before leaving office, expressed doubts about his ability to serve another term at the age of 82. He acknowledged concerns about his age and revealed he hadn't intended to run again, but felt compelled to challenge Donald Trump in 2020. Biden also discussed his meeting with President-elect Donald Trump, expressing concerns over potential policy reversals and emphasizing the importance of climate legislation. And this has me to believe that Joe Biden could be, I'm not saying that he is, senile. He could be very forgetful because he was very stern and adamant about running against Donald Trump for this particular term of presidency before he was pretty much pressured by the Democratic Party to step down and let Kamala Harris run and lose against Donald Trump. Do I believe that Joe Biden probably would have had a better chance at winning against Donald Trump? Chances are yes. I think Joe Biden would have did a better job simply because he's Joe Biden, simply because he's a male, simply because he's a white male. And some people are like, are you being somewhat prejudiced in the remarks that you're making? No. America has a stark history, and we're not as progressive and or as liberal as people may seem as other countries who has already had female presidents like Mexico and other European countries as well, or even female prime ministers. We are just not there yet. It's always been what seemed to be a better candidate, and I just believe that Joe Biden would have given Trump a little run for his money, but I believe Donald Trump would have still won because, again, as people voted the electoral, the popular vote, that Donald Trump would do a better job in running the country than Joe Biden. And when it comes to the policies, I will tell you this, because a lot of people always ask, who did you vote for? What side are you on? Are you a liberal or are you a conservative? You're independent? No, I'm a policy person. When I looked at Kamala Harris policies versus Donald Trump had better policies for the country. And I would like to believe, I would like to think that people, instead of hanging on the coattails of what a man or a woman says, or what you may allude or contribute your allegiance to, oh, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative, I'm a liberal, I'm this, I'm that. No. What is best for you policy-wise? How is that policy on a federal level going to trickle down to your level? Because we all know the laws that impact the people the most are those local and state laws. But there are laws on the federal level that will assist the majority of Americans, and Donald Trump seems to have the best legislation and proposed policies altogether. That is just the way I look at it. Now, a recent opinion article criticizes President Joe Biden's tenure, alleging that due to age and cognitive decline, his administration was effectively run by his family and staff. And people have been stating this for a very long time, that Joe Biden has not really been running the country. It's been Kamala Harris, it's been the congressional staff or the White House staff or his family altogether. Now, this particular author calls for exposure and repercussions for what is described as a fraudulent of misuse of power, of presidential power, questioning the media's role in failing to report Biden's incapacity. And they may have a point. They may have a point because there were large indicators that Joe Biden was not fit for another term, let alone, and I've stated this many times before, I think most people start to see a cognitive decline. I think his last 2 years, we saw some small indicators his first 2 years, but not like those last 2 years. Those last 2 years, we were like, he was falling a lot more. He was getting lost. He was getting double speak. He was losing his words or what he was going to say. There was all sorts of things. Because again, we all lose what we're going to say, but his pauses were more cringe-like. He would be like, and we're going to make sure that we send support over to Ukraine because the Ukrainians have our support. And that's a very long time to take a pause, especially when you're a lifelong politician. I was just telling a buddy of mine just the other day that Joe Biden has been a politician. Let me back up. He's been a senator And of course, you know, he's been vice president, president, but he's been in politics over 50 years. Damn near 53 years, Joe Biden has been a politician. It was time for good old Joe to hang it up. And what I mean by good old Joe, because again, he's done more, and I'm gonna keep saying this. It seems like he's done more in the past 60 days as president than he did his entire term. That's just the way I guess I look at it. Now, President-elect Donald Trump refused to rule out military or economic coercion concerning the Panama Canal and Greenland, citing their importance to U.S. economic security. He also suggests imposing a 25% tariff on Canadian imports and hinting at reasserting U.S. control over the Panama Canal, which is raising concerns among allies and neighboring countries. And it seems as though he's not allowing this to go. He's not letting this go at all. It seems as though he's very serious about this. Not so much about Greenland and Canada, but most likely the Panama Canal, because again, he understands that America, we paid for the Panama Canal. We had a lot of people to work on the Panama Canal, and I believe it was Jimmy Carter who gave the Panamanians control over the Panama Canal, and which a lot of people at the time thought it was the right thing to do. But you know, Trump is like, the Chinese has 2 ports on the Panama Canal, and it seems as though you guys are doing under the cover business deals, and America's getting a short end of the deal, and he intends to change that altogether. So again, look for things to be very heightened around the control of the Panama Canal, and I'll keep you guys abreast. Now, international tensions have escalated following President-elect Donald Trump. Because again, Trump is big news. He's not playing any games. It seems as though he's doing a lot even before his inauguration here on the 20th. But nonetheless, President-elect Donald Trump expressed interest, okay, and this has been ongoing, of acquiring Greenland. What's significant about that? Because France has warned the U.S. to back down. And the Danish Prime Minister firmly stated that Greenland is not for sale. Trump's commitments, or rather comments, including potential military actions and tariffs, have drawn criticism from allies highlighting concerns over his foreign policy approach. Now, I've been to France. I actually have a family member over there playing professional basketball in France. And I'll just tell you my take on France. When I was in France, if you don't speak French, and if you're not quote unquote Frenchman, my experience, I'm not speaking about anybody else's experience, my experience is that a great majority, not all, a great majority of French people are rude. That's just my experience. They were very, very rude. At the time, I knew some words, bonjour, au revoir, comment allez-vous. I knew, je m'appelle this, je m'appelle that, my name is. I don't know much French, and I didn't know much French then when I went. But I can tell you, from the interactions I had with some of the French peoples and some of the French venues, they seem to be very, very rude. My only thing and my only question is to you guys is, do you think America should get in bed and try to take over Greenland and have us at war with Greenland, with what's the country that monarchs over Greenland? Denmark, as well as France. That's the question. Do we want to go to war with 3 countries simultaneously? And guess what? All these talks about taking control of this and seizing this, we possibly could be at war with France, Denmark, Greenland, as well as Panama. So again, we can be the most powerful country in the world, but again, we may need support and assistance from a lot of our allies. And far as I know, isn't Greenland, Denmark, as well as France and Panama some of our allies? Do we really want to go to war with them? Because think about the UK altogether. They're going to be like, hey, listen, we're friends, but, we're going to bow out of this one. And this is the time that we may need people the most, because I don't think we should take this head on. And again, that is the last resort that I believe Trump would do, because it seemed as though that Trump is a peace president, but he can stall a lot of turmoil. But again, he may be trying to make a deal. Maybe this is a scare tactic. I don't know, but this doesn't seem indicative of Donald Trump's actions altogether. Now, I know you guys are aware of the massive of California fires. There's been a series of devastating wildfires, including the Palisades in Eaton and Hearst fires. They have scorched vast areas of LA, resulting in at least 2 fatalities and a lot more from that. Now the toll is up to 5 and prompting tens of thousands of evacuations. And this is fueled by winds up to 100 miles per hour. Now, these fires have led to deteriorating air quality and the closure of landmarks like Hollywood Signs and Griffin Park. Over 1,400 firefighters are battling the blazes, with federal assistance being mobilized to address the emergencies. Now, as you can see here in this picture, people have to wear masks because the air quality is so poor. People are literally choking, walking around different parts of LA. And I do have a clip for you guys. I want you guys to see the condition of LA altogether. Listen in on this. Now, hopefully no one is wishing bad on the Californians because, again, these are American citizens and they may need our assistance. Now, people would like to believe that everybody in California is rich, and that's not absolutely true. Believe it or not, I think California has one of the highest homeless populations. So again, these are Americans that may be in need of a lot of assistance. As I stated before, there's over 1,400 firefighters on ground, and there's tens of thousands of people that are evacuating. So again, if it's in your heart, when they have one of those donations to assist them, hopefully people will see other Americans in need and give whatever they have to give. And I'm not thinking about, oh, these Californians are rich, and I'm not looking at it more so like this. And here's just one more clip that I would like to show you guys of the conditions of California. So yes, the conditions in California is very, very dire. And I had a troubling moment when I thought about insurance companies, because the mass amount of billions of dollars going to take to rebuild this part of California. I can only imagine the rise in insurance premiums behind this. And a lot of us are going to be like, good, because insurance companies are the richest organizations in America, and they never really pay their fair share. Like, you pay, tens of thousands of dollars each and every year. And then on top of that, you have to pay a deductible. And then when you do make a claim, when you get your next 6-month premium bill or your yearly premium bill, however you pay it, your insurance premium rise. So a lot of people hope no one lost their life, but good, those insurance companies need to pay out. And the problem with that is, we all know insurance companies are like the middleman, whether it be health insurance, okay? Because there's a lot of attention behind the case with the CEO, one of the CEOs of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, being assassinated allegedly by Luigi Mangione, of the high insurance premiums altogether. And again, don't forget that government legislation has allowed this to happen. Government legislation, especially on the federal and state level, can put caps on insurance premiums. Just as though the one thing I believe that the Democrats did good while I was in office was insulin. They put a cap on insulin shots at $35. That was a very, very good thing. Okay. So again, I look at both administrations okay, when it comes to policies. And there's another policies that I want to make you guys aware of, because I've been questioning this for quite some time on how this is going to get paid. How's this going to get paid? Because millions of Americans will see an increase in Social Security payments starting today, thanks to a 2.5 cost of living adjustment, also known as COLA, implemented to account for inflation. Retirees will receive an average amount increase of approximately $50, with a maximum benefit for those retiring at age 70 rising to $5,108. Payments are scheduled based on beneficiary birthdays, with distribution dates throughout January. And Joe Biden came out last week, or within the last 2 weeks rather, stating that he wants to increase Social Security payments. And again, they're already telling Gen Xers that there's not enough Social Security money in the bank in order to pay you guys when you retire. So again, there's a lot of hoopla around Social Security payouts. And I'm just wondering, Generation X, millennials, Generation Z, are these people, or Generation Y rather, are these people going to have the money to retire when they're in their 60s and 70s, where they're going to need the money the most? If they're going to increase prices, if they're going to essentially pay people more by the hands of Joe Biden and the Democrats. Again, what plans are in place to cover this? What plans are in place to ensure that every generation who has been paying into Social Security get their fair share? Because I used to think the amount of money that we pay in Social Security was like my own personal account, because you can go to ssa.gov, create an account, and they will show you how much you've been getting paid over the course of time and how much essentially you have contributed to Social Security and your possible monthly payments in your retirement, or when you are eligible to apply for Social Security. But that seems as though that's not the way it works. It seems as though they're robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's kind of like you owe Sam $10, so you borrow $15 from John. You pay off Sam, you keep $5 to feed yourself, but you still owe John $15. So now you go to Susan, you borrow $20 for Susan so you can have $5, and you pay John his $15. What is the point I'm getting? You go further and further and deeper into debt. That's the problem. And hopefully they figure out a way how to fix that. Now, several new driving laws have taken effect across the U.S. In this upcoming year in 2025. Colorado imposes fines up to $250 for handheld devices while driving. So if you're in Colorado and a lot of these other states, they're making very ambitious fines. If they catch you talking on the phone, texting and driving, the fines are going to be sky high, and they're starting off at $250. Now, Missouri hands-free law enforces fines up to $500. And we know Missouri is not one of the richest states. If not, it's one of the poorest states. So just think, I will hope those people are doing the right thing and using some sort of hand-free device, maybe an earpiece, maybe Bluetooth to your vehicle. But please, for the safety of yourself, before the fines even come into place, I see it all the time. I'm driving down the highway and I'm seeing people from all ages and all demographics texting and driving. And it's one of the most dangerous things that you can do. Believe me, that text is not that important. It's not that important. If it's really that important, that person will call you. And you can even have, within your cup holder, and hopefully your car has Bluetooth so you can just talk and drive essentially hands-free. But I've seen people in nice cars literally on their phone like this, literally having the phone talking on speakerphone. I'm like, I know that car has Bluetooth. So there's a lot of dangerous driving. And again, if you're one of the ones, I implore you, put the phone down. Stop texting and driving. Stop holding your phone up to your ear and driving, or have it in your hand while you drive. Get an apparatus that can sync your Bluetooth in your phone so it can, broadcast throughout your speakers for safety. And not only your safety, but majority of the people who get into these accidents with their phones always harm other people more so than themselves. So again, this is about people and not just yourself. Now, other states, including Oregon and Illinois, have introduced measures addressing drug use on public transportation, school buses, and digital driver's license, aiming to enhance road safety nationwide. And I believe these are all good turns. Now, everybody's not going to like this, but again, when it comes to the safety of the people, sometimes you have to make these very brash legislation in order for a wake-up call for people to do the right thing, and not just for themselves, but for the people around them altogether. The U.S. judicial system is set to address several significant cases in 2025. There's going to be all sorts of cases that's going to be happening this year. You're going to have the Sean Diddy Combs. He's going to face a trial on sex trafficking. You're going to have Luigi Mangione. Of course, he's accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. You're also going to have the Department of Justice is pushing antitrust cases against major corporations like Meta, Google, Visa, and Apple. You're going to also have the case when it comes to the sell-off of TikTok. And believe it or not, you guys know Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary. Are you guys familiar with Kevin O'Leary? He said he's in the final bennies of actually buying TikTok. So look for Mr. Wonderful to be owning TikTok here pretty soon. Have you noticed a lot of the old school moguls are getting into social media and tech because they know that not only that is the way of the future, but it is the present that we live in today. So again, that's some of the things that Kevin O'Leary stated, that he's in the final meetings of buying TikTok. Okay. And last but not least, I know that all of us love and cherish good policing. And I say this all the time. Not only your local municipalities, your local state, federal, we need good policing. We need great policing. Not all police officers are bad. Not all police officers are racist. And this clip right here, it really made things very transparent for me. And I hope that there's more sergeants out there that are testing a lot of these young officers who may not know the law as though they speak because they believe that you're in civilian clothing, that you don't know the law. Listen in on this.
Can you start that sentence over?
Sure. If you are wanting to be a victim of a crime, I'm going to take a recorded statement from you.
And can that be anonymous?
No, it cannot.
Why can't a victim statement be anonymous? You know that that's not true. You know it's not.
Are you ready to let me talk or no?
Okay.
Okay. So there has to be a couple things on a report in order for me to press charges. I have to have a suspect and a victim for this to go through the court system.
You can have anonymous victims.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, you can. What do you do for Jane Doe's?
Right there. When he said that, she was like, oh, he like, she got me. He got me. Now listen in more on this, because again, I wish that police officers would do this all the time, because you'll have a lot of people out here that really know the law. They deal in legalese and they always are testing the police. But this is an actual police sergeant in plain clothes, not knowing that he's a police sergeant and he actually knows the law. So again, she's getting stumped at every wake and turn.
A victim of a crime is not a Jane Doe.
Well, a Jane Doe can be a victim of a crime. Would you not investigate that crime if it's a Jane Doe? You're not going to win at this logic game. I mean, I will provide it, but just tell me that you're asking for it because it's not required. Just be honest with me. That's all I'm asking.
I'm asking for it because you are reporting a crime occurred, which means that your name needs to be on my report as either the victim or the reporting party if you would like me to pursue charges.
But I know that's not true.
Okay.
Is there a supervisor?
Yeah, he's on scene right now.
Can I speak to him?
What's your first name?
May I speak to him? My name is Brian.
Brian, how do you
Yeah.
spell that?
Brian.
And your middle name, Brian?
Look, may I speak with the supervisor, please?
He's busy speaking.
Okay, I'll just wait to speak to him. I'll just wait to speak for him. I don't appreciate you getting like an attitude with me. You have. You've lied to me. He's lied to me a bunch of times. Okay, I just don't. I would like to be treated with respect, and I don't feel this. No, you either do or you do not, like Yoda, right?
I need your name and date.
Well, I would like to confirm that with your supervisor.
You would also then be subpoenaed in that court.
I would like to. I would just like to.
I cannot subpoena you without your name and date of birth.
I would like to confirm that with your supervisor.
Certainly, we'll just stand right here and wait for him then.
Are you so angry?
Doing my job.
It shows. You're very angry. I hope you find peace. There's no need for this. I asked him multiple times, back away from me. Back away, back away, back away. Is that the supervisor? Hey, are you this? Can I speak to him?
Not right now, he's busy.
And I'm speaking to you like a human. Can you speak to me like I'm a human?
I answered your question.
Yeah, but you just got an attitude. You don't speak to people like human, you speak to people like subjects, and I'm not your subject.
Okay. He's busy right now.
Okay. What's your name and badge number?
Officer Place, 124.
Okay. How long have you worked here?
That's none of your business.
I'm just trying to make small talk.
Oh, well, I'm not going to make conversation with you either.
Why?
We're going to just stand here and wait for my supervisor.
Is this how you treat the victims of crimes? That's crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Now, what's significant about this is I think he was a little edgy himself, but again, he's a police sergeant. And when I say he was testing her, because if you saw the full clip of the video, and I just, kind of paraphrase here, they were lying and he was catching them in lies. They're like, hey, I'm the victim of a crime. And they was almost interrogating him as though he was lying, not knowing that he is a police sergeant. So again, just think, he knows the law. He's standing his ground when it comes to speaking about what they can and cannot do. And they're being very adamant as though, hey, I'm the law. I'm telling you what's going on. And this is why I tell people, don't back the blue when it's only convenient. Do not back the blue when it's only convenient. Back the blue when it deals in truth. And that police sergeant was dealing in truth. Now, again, I say he was quite a bit edgy. He could have been a little sensitive, but nonetheless, he called him in multiple lies. And when he trumped her, what I mean by that is when he stumped her and said, a victim can be anonymous. And she paused and was like, well, I need a name for this police report. But again, I think that we should definitely support the police, but we should definitely support good policing and not bad policing. Thank you all for joining me here this evening. Good evening, Volvo. You guys have a great and wonderful evening. And for any chance you don't see me tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening, it's because I'll be snowed in because it's already 20 degrees and we are expecting a snowstorm. This is Black Lives.